What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Realm Status, your weekly news for Camelot Unchained. I'm your host, Swiper, and today I want to give you a brief overview of the end of the week wrap up for September 13th, 2019. Now, if you're new to my channel, each week I try and give you guys some of my favorite gameplay updates and some of my favorite questions that are asked on CU's end of the week wrap up stream. Typically, their streams last anywhere from 45 minutes to over an hour, so I like to condense this show into 10 minutes. So I'm not going to go over everything. So if there's some things that I may have missed or some more information you want on this show, definitely check out their end of the week wrap up. I'll put it in the description below. So let's get started. All right, everybody, let's start with number 1, work in progress tech and the support classes. So this update was awesome. This week, Anthony thought some music would do the world good and reinvigorated the minstrel class. It is mostly ready to go mechanically and will be undergoing internal testing before it is ready for prime time. Also, the Dark Fool and the Scald are also in progress, but a bit further out. So, I don't know what a bit further out means, but I have to imagine we're going to see these classes soon, and this is huge. This is huge because I believe it's the support and the devout, and then we're all set with the classes that are ready for launch. Unless I'm mistaken, but that's going to be all the classes. So once they get this support class out there, which I'm hoping, let's say when they have their speed buff, I'm hoping that they have all the mechanics in there so you can hit that speed buff and make everybody faster. I'm hoping. I'm not sure. I wish I could have asked that question now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, this is a really good sign in my opinion. I know there's a lot of balancing they need to do with the other classes, but yet let's get them all out there. Let's just get them all out there so we can all play them and enjoy them and have fun and test. All right, so that's enough of that. So let's move on. I chose number 8 for the second update here. And this is also a work in progress UI patching. So AJ spent some time this week getting the support classes hooked up to the patcher. Once the classes have passed their internal testing, they should be available there. So I assume this is just kind of back-end stuff, basically allowing us to select the support character and create them and then actually play them on the actual patching client or the UI client. So that is great news. More support action, baby. Yes. Yes. Now, is this a class that I'm interested in playing? Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to see what the support classes are like versus the healing classes because I think that's the route I'm going to go down depending on how many friends I'm going to be playing this game with. But if I'm going to have a few friends out there, then I'm definitely going to want to play support or healer for sure. For sure. All right, so let's move on to number 10, tech and prediction. So Matt has landed the ability threading fix we mentioned in last week's update. This issue was causing abilities to randomly fail that should no longer happen. So this is pretty awesome. I know it sounds like a small, update, but to me it's pretty big because getting things mechanically right, like being able to press a button and it actually work, is huge. I mean, your overall experience playing a game is how something feels, how something plays. So I'm glad they're finding this stuff now and fixing it so when this game does launch, we're not running into some of these small issues like we've seen with other games for sure. And the last two I want to go over are 14 and 15. Work in progress art, mage staffs, and also the art for pauldrons. So it looks like they made some more concept art for mage staffs. They'll eventually add these to the weapons and get them into the game later once they finalize the crafting model for the weapons and armor. And it looks like they finished a set of Viking pauldrons, yeah, for medium armor wearers, which I probably won't be using a class that wears medium armor, but who knows? But these look pretty cool. I'll actually shoot them up here so you can take a look at them. All right, everybody, let's move on to the Q&A section. So this is for all you cube heads out there. So about 2 weeks ago, circular blocks basically came up and people were like, hey, why are they not in this game? Like they used to be. And we saw pictures from years ago that they were, in this actual game. Like what's going on? So basically, Andrew was able to address this and said circular blocks are not scrapped, meaning they're not getting rid of them. They're still out there. They're still coded. But they wanted to get destruction working correctly, and I think the circular blocks were maybe causing some issues. He didn't go into great detail about it, but he basically just mentioned that they wanted to get destruction working. So as of right now, the circular blocks are not implemented in the game. They're definitely coded, and I think they're in the game. They're just not available for us to use. And he did mention about having this vision about making it all work, but he basically said that if I'm going to get this to work, it sounds like they would have had to delay launch. So I don't think they want to do that anymore. I think everybody can agree with that. So I think we'll get more information later on down the line, but it sounds like this is going to be something that gets put in after launch. All right, so let's move on to question number 2. Are you guys having your own personal servers for release, or are you going to be using, the cloud providers? And this person that was asking the question was under the impression that they were only using cloud servers for testing. So Andrew basically said you have to hit a certain size where having hardware makes sense, meaning it's extremely expensive. So it sounds like when they're spinning up these like cloud servers and they have all these cloud servers, it sounds like it's a lot less, or it's a lot less expensive than it is to actually host and have people manage their servers. So I think if, they're making enough money and they're at a point where they're so big that the costs actually outweigh, meaning the cloud servers are more expensive than hosting, then I'm sure they'll switch over to hosting. But for now, it sounds like they're going to be using the cloud providers. All right, so let's move on to question number 3. Is there a Linux version of this game coming? And straight up, they basically said, no, this is not something we promised, and this is not something, the backers asked for. They kind of went on about how much work it would be, and they kind of went on more and more and more, but I don't really need to get into that. So straight up answer, no, sorry, Linux users. And I know this kind of gets brought up sometimes because have been talking about Linux, using Linux on their backend servers, but that doesn't affect, how we play this game on Windows and things like that. So just keep that in mind. All right, question number 4. When we cut trees, will fallen trees hurt players? So they basically said yeah, like it would make sense because they have rubble, and if you're standing underneath rubble or if a piece of castle falls over it, you're dead. Like that thing falls on, you're dead. So I think what they said was they don't have any like real mechanic to cut an actual tree down, but if the tree was to fall down and it would hit an enemy player, yeah, you would die. And that's already kind of built into the physics system into the game. So as far as I know, there's nothing that allows you to actually cut a tree down, but I think eventually I'll probably just be in the game. And for the last question, and this was a really good question because it kind of sprawled off into other things. So let's get to it. What are you guys looking forward to after the minstrel? So Andrew answers this question first, and he says, I really want to get the cosmetic item crafting in. He wants us to completely customize, tune, and tint, and dye all the material that we have for crafting. And that is awesome because I think a lot of us want our character to look different, and we want our gear to look the way we want it to. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like when it eventually comes out. Tim, on the other hand, has a really different approach, not necessarily with the crafting things, but he kind of talks about how going back to the Dark Age days when he played, he has these memories of the speed classes and how when you're running through with a speed class, your whole party's moving at such a fast rate that you either cut a corner, you're going over a cliff, or you're coming out of the woods or the forest or something. You instantly hit another party, like an enemy party that has it. And he says the chaos that evolved from that was insane. And that's what he wants to work on. He wants to work on the mechanics of when you're going at this fast and the other team's going this fast, man, you hit each other. He's going to have a better understanding and idea of how big these maps need to be, considering how fast you could be going. And he also says that it can help with the combat as well. And honestly, I agree with him. Like, when you have your support classes out there, that really changes the way combat works. Like, it really does. It's not just your heavy fighters and your archers, like, laying waste at each other. And adding a healer in there even changes it. But adding a support class is going to mix it up even more. So this is why I think it's so important that they just get the classes out there as soon as they can. Obviously, not fully balancing them yet, because you're not going to know exactly how to balance something on paper and pencil. You have to actually see how it works and the damage and everything like that. So overall, I am super pumped again for these support classes, and that's exactly why I put them in my updates, because I think this is really going to cause a lot of testing and maybe some changes, and it's going to feel more like a game with balance and things like that. So heck yeah, man, I'm pumped. Can't wait. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for me today. Before I head out, there's a couple things I want to go over. First, this week, there's no testing. If you're interested in testing this game or interested in supporting the company, go ahead and check out that link above my head or, at the top of my screen. I made a video a while back going over how you can support this game, how you can get involved, and how you can test this game. So definitely check that out. Also, I apologize. Last week, I could not do this video. Work was crazy last weekend. We had to deploy all this production code to all of our clients and all of their systems. So it took a lot of my time away. So again, I apologize. I wasn't able to post a video last week. And other than that, thank you for checking out this video. I tried a different format, so let me know if you like the old format compared to this format. This format's a little bit easier for me. It's a little bit more straightforward, but just let me know. So if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. It means a lot to me. And if you want more news regarding Camelot Unchained or any kind of updates or just some of the crazy things I've been doing gaming-wise, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Have a good week. Peace out.